Good morning, Chavra. Let's learn a little bit of Tanya here on page 95 Nechayenu. Today's the 27th day of Menachemov. Beautiful davening, beautiful laning, beautiful Torah, beautiful people. Here we go. In today's lesson, when it comes to planting, a person needs to do their part. What do? If you're taking a seed, you got to make a hole in the ground and stick it in there and wait until the soil decays. You have to water, you have to watch over it. And then it unleashes a power within the earth to produce far more, both in quantity and in quality, than the seed. It's a tiny little brown nothing seed. And it starts to grow, and beautiful, the whole tree. Yeah. Right? Plant, fruit. It's amazing. It's calling again. So too, when it comes to investing in the Eibishter, when we daven, when we learn, when we give tzedakah, Zoirim Zroim Oy Noitin Garin, like Garinim, Garinim. In Israel, you eat the seeds. That's what it is. So the above concept can be understood by the analogy of sowing seeds of grain or planting kernels of fruit. Shashi Boilis Tzamachas Meazera Ilon Vaperoison Mehagarin, the shoot that sprouts from the seed and the tree, from its fruits, from the kernel, Eina Mahusamatzmusan Shalazera. Garin cloud are not the very essence and being of the seed or the kernel at all. You don't see anything of any similarities of what you planted, that little brown, whatever it is. There's no similarity. The essence and being has been spent and is decaying in the soil. And they are thus not the source of the vegetative property. Or Atzmaihu HaMoitzi Megadel Hashiboiles V'Ha'ilan V'Hapeidosav. It's the vegetative property in the soil itself. So the soil has to combine, it has to be the right soil with the water and everything else, rather than the particular vegetative power that resulted in the seed or the kernel, which brings about the growth of the shoot or the tree and its fruit. You just have the seed and stick it on the table and say, "Okay, let's go." No, nothing's going to happen. It's got to go in the ground. It disintegrates into the earth with, I don't know exactly what the language is, what it does down there. And then there's vegetative power and it comes out. So the vegetative power of growth is a divine faculty that enables physical growth to result from a spiritual property in a matter of creating something for nothing. But if the actual growth of any grain or seed or fruit results from the universal power of vegetative growth, and not from a particular seed or kernel, then why bother planting in the first place? Just boom, it should come out of the ground without any seeds. So the answer is it's only that the earth's vegetative power does not manifest its power outwardly from potential to the actual, except by means of the seed or the kernel. The seeds then decay in the soil, and whose whole power, the power of growth that originated in the earth's vegetative property, was implanted in them as they grew. And what happens then? They become consumed by the vegetative property in the soil. They unite and become one, meaning the particular power of growth that results in the seed or the kernel unites with the earth's universal vegetative property. It's a whole process that happens. And through this, please mute your phone. Please mute your phone. Thank you. Thank you. In this way, the vegetative property actualizes its potential and brings forth vitality that makes possible the growth of a shoot that is related to the seed that has been sown. Though with very great increase in a single shoot, so that 1 ear of corn comprises many grains. What happens? You put a seed, a whole tree plants, or a kernel of corn, let's say, a stalk of corn, and from there you could plant hundreds more seeds and get so the no, but the how do we call it? No, not just the reward, but the growth and the offshoot is so much greater than just the one little seed that you put in. You have one little tiny seed, you have one tree, and then you have hundreds of apples coming from this one tree, and you make hard apple cider. Moreover, the very nature and essence of the fruit immensely excels the nature and essence of the planted kernel, and that the bland and tasteless kernel serves as the source for delicious fruit. It's a tiny kernel, and it goes in, and there's this huge tree, and all these amazing, delicious fruit. You open up the apple, you find another tiny little seed that can do the same thing. It can multiply so many times over, multiple times over. I don't want to say limitless, because there is a certain aspect of unlimited. We can keep having children forever. We can keep having the fruits can keep multiplying forever, but only Hashem is unlimited. So and wants it to end, it can end. But I'm saying that concept, that's the closest thing that we'll get to be limitless, is the seeds being planted and constant growth. The same is true of the produce of the earth, which grows from seeds, just like kernels, such as cucumbers and the like. You plant one tiny little seed, you have a cucumber. How many seeds come in each cucumber? I don't know, count it, let me know. So fruits and vegetables are not only quantitatively superior to the kernels, but they're also qualitatively superior. What are you going to do? You eat that little seed from the apple? It's tasteless and bitter. But the fruit is unbelievable. It's delicious. It gives you energy. It has all these different attributes. All this is because the stem and root of the vitality of the fruit issues from the vegetative property in the soil, which includes the vitality of all the fruits and causes them to grow. Nevertheless, a kernel, moreover, the kernel of a specific species desired must be sown, as explained. You can't just leave it on the table and say, "No, let's go. Let me see some fruits out of this." You have to put it in the ground. It disintegrates. The ground does something to it, has the power to let it grow by the grace of Hashem. The kernels that are sown in the ground are only like an arousal from below that's necessary if one is to elicit a reciprocal arousal from above. So you need Hashem to respond to the planting. Eibishter starts doing, you do your part, and Eibishter is going to do his part with the wonders that we have in the ground, from the earth and everything else, and the water that comes from either the sky or you water it, whatever it is. But now you're going to see this unbelievable occurrence take place. So then what happens? We have the same thing with, I'm just going to translate that into the davening, into giving tzedakah, into learning. We have to make the effort to make the keli. We have to come to, what's your davening? What did it accomplish? Accomplish nothing. You just put it on the table, say, yeah, well, it's the same thing. Nu Hashem, where's the bracha? No. You got to invest. Maybe your investment doesn't compare to the amount of brachas that you receive from Hashem, the amount of life and energy and love and all the blessings that come upon you and your family. But still, it came from you doing your part. You have to do your part. You got to plant that seed. So let's finish off by saying like this. So when you do your part, then there's an Asurus de Le'ela, Nikra B'Shem Ha'alos, Mayim Nukvin, B'Kisvei Arizal, this arousal from below, this effort that we put in, being referred to in the writings of the Arizal, is called the elevation of Mayim Nukvin, commonly abbreviated as Man, which serve as the recipient of the efflux of Mayim of Ban. Whatever. This gets off and told. Okay. So the same applies here as well. The power of vegetative growth is the spiritual power that encompasses all fruits and vegetables. Its spiritual state is such that it is far too lofty to descend spontaneously to a level where it can make physical produce grow on its own. And it's going to have fruits and trees just starting to grow all over the place without any effort on our part, or from the seed without being planted in the earth. So the actual growth can only come about as a result of this elevation of man, memnun, maim nukvin, of a particular fruit or grain, and this arouses within the universal vegetative property the particular manifestation necessary for growth of the specific kind of produce that is inherent in the kernel or seed that's sown. So what's the takeaway? What's the takeaway? We talked about how we have to plant the seed. Your good deeds are the planted seeds. And the more good deeds you put in, the more beautiful the trees and the fruits and the benefits that you'll get down the road. All right, let's do it. Put in the effort and you'll, Mirz Hashem, with God's help, you'll see the results.